Hi guys, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive here. Happy New Year. Happy 2019. I hope your ringing in of the new year was everything that you wanted it to be. I know for me, it was a complete shift. When that clock struck and I watched the fireworks go up, I didn't see a ball drop because I was out actually partying this year, something I haven't done in a while. Got to see fireworks, and I know when those fireworks went off, I literally felt the shift. It was like a new person, definitely new energy coming through. Anyway, I hope yours was just as enlightening, exciting, or calming and peaceful, whatever it needed to be for you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my weekly Dream Team guidance reading. I'm very happy that you're here. This is for the week of January 7th. Oh yes, we're already a week into the new year. How does it feel, peeps? How does it feel? So let's see what our dream team has to say for us this week. Let's see what is coming up. And one of the things that was really interesting when I set out to do this week's reading, I was told that I needed to pull out an old tarot deck, something that I was told I needed to put away last year and seek out some new tarot decks. So it's the Osho Zen deck. And if you've watched any of my other YouTube stuff, my older stuff, you will recognize this deck. I have not been using it for quite some time now, but the message was to bring this in. So I'm really anxious to see what our dream team has to say. So let's shuffle this deck up. And I am calling in all the archangels, all the ascended masters, our spirit guides, highest guides, creature teachers, elementals, loved ones in spirit, to come on into this reading space for us today and give each and every one of us exactly what we need to learn and grow this week as we really take 2 feet, 2 steps, 2 full giant steps into this new year. And this card is speaking to me. So let's see what they have to say. Oh, the Lovers, the lover card. Okay, so what I'm getting right away with the Lovers card, this is awareness of other. So last year we had a lot of chaos, we had a lot of upheaval, we had a lot of shifting and changing, just so much stuff. And towards the end of the year, there was a lot of stuff coming up. Anything that we needed to release, anything that wasn't working well for us, anything that was sort of at the dregs of your soul came bubbling to the surface. And actually, it didn't bubble to the surface and just stay in order for you to be able to skim it off the top. It kind of exploded like a volcano. For the majority of us, maybe not for all of us, but for the majority of us, that is how things went. And so it was really an awareness of all of this stuff that's in the self that needs to come out. Now, this week, we need to be aware of all the other people around us, the other events, the other environments that are occurring. It's very important. I'm feeling the energy here is around doing for others, paying it forward, recognizing that we are all connected and we are all one. So I'm really feeling, in particular, this message is sort of global or, dare I say, political, and putting aside the divisions and I believe this and you believe this, so therefore we have to be enemies and we're a team divided or a household divided. It's not about that. It's more about just recognizing that at the base of everything, at the core of everything, we are humans. And that's where we need to start. Each human being needs the same basic things. So how can you get back to basics? How can you be aware of the other? I'm also hearing that when you come across conflict this week, whether that's in your work relationships or your family relationships, or friendships even, or strangers on the street, whatever it happens to be, conflict with others, recognize that, try to see their heart, recognize that they're human, just the way that you are, and sometimes you make choices that don't work out the way you want, or you say things that didn't come out the way you intended it, or it wasn't really what you meant. It just sort of came out wrong. Recognize that the other person may be running into that as well. So it's awareness of other. How are we going to help each other and help one another to move forward in grace, love, and peace? So I'm really feeling that's a strong message for us this week. I'm also getting that this week is going to be a very interesting time in terms of anything that you're trying to create. This feels like, actually the word I'm hearing is expansion. So expansion of what you've already begun creating. So again, this is, projects at work that have already started or that you're in the middle of. This is new relationships that you're building. Anything that has already begun and now you're expanding on the foundation that was sort of created. And I'm feeling like it's important to always go back to the heart, go back to how you're feeling about it, what your intentions are, what you both want to get out of it, and recognizing that it's not a one-way street, it's always a two-way street. Or if there are multiple people involved, it's a multiple people street. So really paying attention to that, recognizing that we are all one, and yes, at the same time, we are all individuals trying to get to the same place, just all not sure how to get there, all having, taking different paths, and figuring it out for ourselves, trying to find the way. So find the love in this situation. This is also about partnership, union, and partnership. So how can you be a better partner this week? How can you unionize, and I don't mean the work unionize, I mean how can you unionize the relationships that you have, bringing it into union, bringing it into balance, involving the other person. Very interesting message today. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It's always weird when I'm looking in my camera to try and figure out how you're going to be able to see all these things too. So there's our tarot reading. And then I got a very strong message today that I needed to pull out a different oracle deck. This is one that I use for myself, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, Colette Baron-Reid. I love her decks. And interestingly enough, if you follow anything that I do, I'm pretty much always using Kyle Gray because I adore his decks. There's something about his decks that really speak to me. I feel the messages are, very straightforward and heartfelt, and they make sense to me. But I'm also very connected to Colette Baron-Reid's decks, and I often use them for myself, but not necessarily when I'm divining for others. And I got the message today that I needed to pull from this deck. So let's see what our dream team wants to say. So we've got the Lover's card, Awareness of Other. And this card is speaking to me. And we've pulled the Wise Woman of Wonderland, Integrity and Compromise. Let me show you that deck. Oh, and it's 21. 2 + 1 is 3, so it's the energy of creation. And I was just talking about creation here. This is 6 energy, by the way, which is 3 and 3. Is interesting as well. So creation. So what I'm feeling when I'm looking at this card, the first thing I'm drawn to is the little bunny in the corner of it. And bunnies are all about fertility and abundance. Also, the bunny is white. White is spirit. So when we're talking about integrity and compromise this week, when you're dealing with awareness of other, and this is going to be a week of relationships and dealing with people, in whatever way, shape, or form that takes, it's really going to be about communication and how you're approaching the situation, how you're approaching the other. So it's important that you approach every human being standing in your own integrity, and honoring and recognizing their integrity as well. Compromise is important in a relationship, in any kind of relationship. Otherwise, you both get your sticks in the mud and you're not going anywhere. You're stuck, right? I'm not doing this. I'm taking my marbles and I'm going home. Well, that doesn't resolve anything. That doesn't help you to move forward. It just keeps you stuck. This week in particular, it's going to be very important to remain in your own integrity, whatever that is for you. Stand strong in it. but also imagine yourself as the tree trunk. So when you have a tree, it grows tall, the roots go deep, and when a storm hits, it can be flexible, it can bend, it can weather a storm because it has flexibility. It's willing to compromise a little bit, it's willing to bend, it's willing to give a little bit. And I'm feeling like that's really important. You don't want to give so much that you're walking yourself right out of the game, but it's okay to listen to the other person, listen to the other, be aware of what the other is saying, and recognize that they need something too. So compromise is a good thing. Don't over-compromise. Find the balance, find the harmony in the situation. So talking about the rabbit and growth and abundance in spirit, I'm feeling that there really is and fertility. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you this week. To have your integrity tested, or to have opportunity to really stand in your integrity. I'm also hearing that some of you are really going to be in a space where you're questioning, well, what is it that I believe? What is it that is really important to me? Where do I stand on this issue? And maybe where you stand on the issue is different than where you used to stand on the issue, and you're just discovering that this week. Be aware of how you're feeling. Be aware of how you're approaching each person in each situation. And sometimes compromise is necessary, and sometimes compromise is not necessary if you're really feeling strongly and you don't want your integrity tested. So that's really interesting. Awareness of other and integrity versus compromise. So we've got our tarot, we've got our oracle, and now let's pull a feather. New year, new feather. And I'm digging deep. Ooh, got a nice one here. Love this. So the first thing I'm drawn to is sort of the goldy yellow color. Yellow is representative of our solar plexus chakra. This is the seat of our identity, mastery, personal power, and co-creation. And I'm really hearing mastery is important for us this week when we're talking about awareness of other, and we're talking about standing in our own integrity, knowing when to compromise. What you're trying to do is you're trying to master that ability. The message on the feather is paint your story. So it's really about recognizing that in that moment when you're dealing with whoever it is that you're dealing with, you're faced with something new, something fresh, something different. You have the opportunity, even if it's the same scenario and situation that you've hit, multiple times, you have the opportunity to paint it in a different way. Use a different color palette. See it from a different perspective. See it from all sides. Decide to make a decision based on what their needs are instead of what your needs are, just as an experiment to see what actually happens, to see what occurs. Paint your story. Also, I'm really drawn to the gold in this feather. And what I'm feeling with the gold is that gold is about abundance. Gold is sunshine. Gold is life. Gold is majestic. I'm even hearing majestic. And when we think of gold, we think of it as a material. So how can you bring from your thought into the material world this gold? And I'm hearing the phrase liquid gold. So when we speak, we can choose to speak with liquid gold. We can choose to speak from the heart. We can choose to make our words count so that they help to enhance the abundance between the dynamics of the person you're speaking to. Or we can choose for it to not be gold. It can be lead. It can be coal. It can be hard and rigid and cold and damp and black and dark, or liquid gold is what you speak. So pay attention to your words. Pay attention to how you are communicating to the other, how you're communicating how you feel to other, and standing in your integrity and compromise. Paint your story using that beautiful gold color, and recognize that everything that you do this week, is really going to become manifest. It's going to manifest itself quickly. So really pay attention and be aware of what it is that you want to create. Because every action that you take, every word that you speak this week is going to have ramifications moving forward. So be aware of what it is you're trying to create this week, and what you're trying to create moving forward, because this week is going to affect that. So, oh my goodness, what an amazing reading for the 7th of January, beginning our 2019. I feel like we're off to a really great start. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you see here, please feel free to like my YouTube channel. I love to release a lot of different things on there, so feel free to explore. Also, I just wanted to mention really quickly, I've got this wonderful service that I'm offering, limited time only. We've got about 3 weeks left. It's called Your Year in Preview, and it's an hour session. And I sit down with you, or over the phone, or on video, whatever works best. And I pull cards for each month, and I tell you what is coming down the pipes for you. I let you know what I'm seeing for you for this 2019 year, so that you can make this your best year yet. So if you're interested in checking out Your Year in Preview, feel free to check out my website. You can book it online. It's only $100. So it's a great deal, $100 for an hour, and you get a whole year's worth of guidance to keep you going. So check out my website. You can also go on my Facebook page, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. My website is The Black Feather Intuitive, and reach out. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.